said 1 minute.
We're going to call the Commission on Aging meeting in session at about 2:03. So if we can, let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And then, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barbara, you are allowed to sit with us.
Oh, I like this better.
You can take it a rich panoply.
Okay.
Will you quit trying to steal my...
I apologize for that. Okay, since there are no public, apparently there'll be no public comment. So we can proceed to the next agenda item, which is the approval of the minutes of June 23rd, 2025, which I have a copy of if there's any questions of. If there are no questions, can we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
And a second?
I second it.
Done. Thank you. For the reports, very happy to see our senior center representative here, Ms. Michelle Jacob. So, Michelle, would you care to lead us off with a report about stuff? Can,
Right, sorry, I'm saying that. It's okay.
yeah, use the mic. It'll be better,
Right. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Okay, so quick, are we on director's report? Is that what's on your agenda there? Is that what we're?
Yes,
Okay.
director's report for you.
Okay. So Ronnie sent me with some basic information. I mean, you all know of the programs and activities coming up. The big one, we have our senior prom coming up, which is going to be a lot of fun this year. It's a big event. We encourage everybody to sign up for. Obviously, the Rotary Club is doing their annual picnic in September. And I'm trying to think of anything else that's new. But what we really wanted to just mention was September is National Senior Center Month. So every year there's a small campaign. It's a national campaign. So we are going to be doing some fun videos and making sure we celebrate National Senior Center Month. So make sure you're following all of our social media, and we want to make sure we show all the great stuff that we do at the Senior Center. And on the front cover of the newsletter as well, you'll see it says Community Focal Point Designation. The Southwestern Connecticut Agency on Aging has designated Trumbull as an official focal point, which is a big deal. That means that we check all the boxes for services that are offered at a senior center. I want to make it clear, especially in the time right now, this is based on the services and the staff and what they provide. If we wanted to go for a national accreditation to get national recognition as a senior center, we would not be able to do that because of the building that we're in. And usually I wouldn't say that, but I think it's really important to clarify that at this moment, that we would never be able to get national accreditation based on our current facility. But this is still a fantastic local state recognition for all the services that our staff do provide and the town supports. And, you know, there's a little explanation in here of what a focal point is. And defined by the Older Americans Act, which is a federal act, a focal point is a central trusted access point for aging and disability services. And it's designed to coordinate and connect older adults with the support they need. It offers seniors and families a reliable place for information, assistance, and community, and stands as a visible symbol of the community's commitment to its aging population. So we applied for status and we're granted it, and we are very grateful to the town because of all the support we get for the senior center to make that happen. So that's a big deal. So we're celebrating that in the month of October because that is when we actually go to the awards banquet, get recognition. And so we'll make sure to post all that on social media and share with everybody how that goes.
Why can't you get recognition on a national basis based
Yes.
on the building?
Oh, yeah.
Why can't you get national recognition based on the building?
So a national accreditation for a senior center, we don't have the proper facility. ADA compliancy, you know, we're grandfathered in. So it's not that we're not compliant. We just don't have updated modern features that would accommodate a lot of
We're not
individuals.
compliant.
I'm sorry?
We're basically not compliant. They're just, we were grandfathered in even though we're not compliant.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
just like-
I guess if that's, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to beat that point up.
I'm assuming, and would you confirm that the new facility would be compliant?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a given.
Yeah. There are some senior centers in the state of Connecticut that are nationally accredited. And I feel horrible because all of them are, my mind is blank, but I can look that up and if you guys are interested, I could bring you that information. There's an entire downloaded guidebook you need. And when I first started working here, I printed it out and that was a goal, but we realized we wouldn't be able to get to it. So, yeah. Otherwise, I don't have anything else to report. It's a busy time. Lots of great programs are happening. I think, I don't know if you all know, but it was official that Ronnie is her title is not Senior Center Director, but that is her role now. So Ronnie, although she's always done the work of the Senior Center, she's officially being recognized by the town. She was given a promotion, and she is our go-to for all programs, activities, and running the Senior Center, which has been fantastic. So we're very happy to have her. And
I'm sorry, did you say she now has the title of Senior Center Director?
Well, her title, and sorry, this microphone, her title is Senior Center Coordinator.
Okay, but she is.
But she
functional.
is in charge of the Senior Center and its daily operations and all the programming. Yeah.
Reports to you.
She reports to me. Yeah. So,
Should her title be upgraded? What would that mean?
I would have HR make a statement on that. No. I mean, with unions, HR, I think we all came to an agreement and understanding, and there's wording in her job description that shows what her role is. I'm sure we could ask for it, but it's hard because there's other individuals at her level that don't have director titles, so it just, as long as she's in the same category as that everybody else that is doing her role is what's important, I think. So, yeah. That's
Okay,
it.
good.
And she's
Thank
happy
you.
with it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
ahead.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
I guess I had some notes that I wanted to mention. I'm glad you went into that. I just said thanks to the administration and to at the center and at the town, both for supporting these efforts. And this is only going to get better. And I'm not sure, but I think, Kathleen, you might have had some, not early on knowledge of this, but familiarity with this program, where they offer this award to senior centers.
The Southwest Connecticut Agency on Aging put that out there, and it's essentially strengthening the network of social services for seniors across all of southwestern Fairfield County. In Stamford, for instance, Silver Source is a focal point. The Senior Center is a focal point. It has really, I think, a terrific way to strengthen the connections between and among all of the service providers, because delivery of services to seniors is really quite fragmented, and this is a great step forward to strengthen that network and ensure that people get the assistance information they need.
Good, thank you. The reason I kind of asked that is that I notice all throughout here, they keep on referencing community, so they're kind of like tying senior centers and community centers as one, which in my exposure with the Senior Commission and the Senior Center, it's nothing new. The Senior Center has always been, in effect, an acting community center, even it never had the formal title. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but I can't think of how many or however, whatever, but I spoke with Noreen in Parks and Recreations area about the number of activities that take place at the Senior Center. I would suggest everyone take a look at the Parks and Recreation schedule of what goes on at the Senior Center and what times of the day. I think it'll be enlightening for a lot of you to take a look at. I had a email for that. I didn't print it because I had a printer problem, but at any rate, you'd be amazed at it. One other thing I think that lends a lot of credibility to the Senior Center. On the Senior Center, every month on the back of the Senior Center newsletter, they have a upcoming schedule, like for the month of September. In the month of September, I counted in excess of 156 activities. And that's for 4 weeks and 2 days. And that's not everything. I'd venture well, it has nothing to do with the evenings. It's strictly Senior Center activities. I'm sure if we had a Parks and Rec person here, which might not be bad in the future, just to enlighten the people and to put at ease their mind of their fears of what's going to happen in the Senior Center. I don't know if that's fair to say at this point. if anything has been spoken about, because I think that'll be like a joint effort, Michelle, between you and Dimitri or Noreen to coordinate, or now maybe Ronnie, to coordinate their activities at the center. That's, okay. Okay, okay.
So for Parks and Recreation, I mean, we collaborate really well together. It's very
Right.
simple. Noreen, who is in charge of programming for our Parks and Rec department, will email us and say, we'll be there on these days at these times. The park ranger will be there to open and lock the building, and that's the end of it. We don't, and I'm the only one who sees them because I do stay in the evenings to attend meetings at Town Hall. So I'm lucky enough to see all the great programming that they do and the kids coming in and participating. But otherwise, my staff didn't even know that it was being utilized by Parks and Recreation.
Little
It
known-
is two
little known-
completely separate times and times a day, and that's just naturally how it falls with a kid's school day and
Yeah, it's
seniors' day.
amazing what goes on that we don't know about.
We have a lot going on, and to touch on community center, I think a lot of senior centers consider themselves a community center, but I want to make it clear, each community is so unique. We're all so different. So our community, our senior center encompasses social services and a food pantry all in one. We have a lot of great community services in town. And so we've always been kind of a community center in general. When you drive by and you see the sign that says the center at Priscilla Place, it's out of date, but you'll see that it says like youth, senior center, arts department. It wasn't always just a senior center. There are other departments there that make it a community center. So it
Good,
has
thank
always
you.
been active in that way, in that sense.
Good. Mrs. Mack couldn't make it this week, so we're going to dispense with the Stern Village, and I'll just go into a few things that I have. A little update on the VFW. As you know, they had a shortfall in the responses to the bid and the available funds. So the only thing I could say with that is they're presently seeking additional funds through various efforts, both public and private. And that's the extent of what I know at this point. Cindy, do you have any other information on that, perhaps?
Hi. All I can add really is that there are efforts underway to seek out additional funding. I know the committee is also working at, ways that they can find some cost savings. And so I think it's fair to say it's being looked at from every angle.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's about the same
A lot of
information
people
I have.
are working hard on it.
Is it significant number?
I think that about $1.5 million or so, is it?
Yes, it's pretty significant, I would say. Yeah.
And then what's the total cost?
The anticipated cost was about $3 million. Now it's coming in at about like 4, 5,
3 million
5-ish.
and $1.5 million short?
Well, they made the assumption that the monies that they had based on the projected costs from the existing architects and whoever are working on it to put together the final number, and that's what but the bids came back differently. Now, there might have been, most of, I don't know, inflation, cost of goods going up,
30 million short.
don't know. But I'm sure it'll get resolved, hopefully. Got to be confident about these things.
That's right.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. I got another little note as an offshoot of that the original senior center concept started in about 2016. And I was hoping Evie could be here because Eve has been around in this town for 35 plus years. Evie Weisner, one of our commissioners, who's been with it longer than I have. Okay, for that one. The second thing, I guess we should say thank you to everyone involved, including the town council, for getting us to the point where we are. I'm trying to think of that famous Rolling Stones line, you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And I think that's pretty appropriate at this point. I guess we could have fought it and argued and whatnot, but then the possible outcome would have been nothing. So I think we did good with what we've got, and we're going to make it work. It's the way it has to be. So thank you for everybody who was involved. I had a few other things here. Sure, Paul. Paul, Mark.
We're trying to get a referendum for 27 point X million
125.
dollars. If that gets approved, and then when we go to do it, we get grants of, let's say, $5 million. But we've been approved for $27 million. So what happens to the difference between the 27 and the 5 that we get through grants?
I think the bonding could be reduced. I'd like to see it applied to stuff, but
So there's nothing to say that we would have to borrow the entire amount of the bond. So, likewise, if somehow the bids came in under, you don't have to borrow everything that's authorized. It's a maximum number. Yep. Yep.
amazing how things work and get done. Should happen quicker, but let's see. There's no animosity, just thanks. We all will be. Oh, okay. I had made a thing. For some reason, I didn't want it to take any kind of a negative context with what transpired previously. It's water under the bridge at this point. But at any rate, like I said before, thanks to all, but don't ever lose sight of the fact the seniors that don't want it or the seniors that do want it, and the people that are not seniors that want it or don't want it, you're all going to be a senior, hopefully, someday. So this is going to be your building, whether you like it or not. You are going to be going to that building, perhaps, we hope, to partake of a lot of good things. Especially the lunches. I like the lunches, by the way. Okay, totally tangent. There was a great boneless thigh chicken lunch that I had. Was with rice and broccoli. I ate, I enjoyed it, and I was so full from lunch, from even working in the kitchen, doing the dishes, I don't touch the food. I didn't have dinner that night. Just as a little sideline. Okay, enough of that. What other little silly notes do we have here? An update on the proposed senior center plans. Yeah, okay, we're turning the floor over to Paul, if we may at this point, who's going to give a little update on the proposed senior center and the plan on how the citizens and the public are going to support this effort. Oh, and by the way, Cindy, when do they put out the formal verbiage for the referendum? Is it that short 2-line blurb that happened to be at the site somewhere that I read, very short and sweet?
Sorry, Paul. Yeah, so I know there was a question before the meeting started about why is the wording so plain
Nebulous?
vanilla, and it doesn't even mention what it's for, and that's because of our town charter. So before 2014, we did not have a referendum provision in our charter. So for example, the high school renovation was purely a town council vote to approve, and there was no provision for a referendum. There was no referendum. And then in 2014, our charter was changed to add this provision. And it tells you the exact verbiage, the form of the question. It says, the ballots shall state the following question. Shall the proposed bond issue in the amount of the dollar amount, as adopted by the Trumbull Town Council on the date of adoption, be approved?
Yes or no?
The ballot shall provide means of voting yes or no on the question so presented. So that's why it says what it says. So we had a Hillcrest referendum last year, which passed overwhelmingly, and now we have this referendum, and maybe the next time the charter gets changed, it's something we can look at to put in a brief description of the project. But there is an explanatory text that goes in, it gets into the envelope with every absentee ballot. It's posted in poster size. At least 3 copies of it need to be posted at each polling place. So, when you're walking in and how you see a sample ballot, and there are poster sizes of the explanatory text. And that explanatory text cannot advocate one way or the other. It just has to be factual. So, we'll have information up on the town website, and it'll go out in newsletters, and it'll be on social media. So, hopefully people will know that what's going on, and there's an explanation. But yeah, it is what it is.
I just never knew what it was going to be or was curious about that, so thank you for that.
Right.
I like the fact that you said it's going to be basically objective and factual. That's the
Yes.
key.
Yep.
That's all you can hope for.
Yep.
As
Thank
of
you.
now, do you think it'll be question number one? Will it have a number in front of it or anything like that we can?
So, the only question in my mind is whether there are any state ballot questions, but that is the only local ballot question. So if there are no state questions, it'll be the one and only. So, that's something I'll check on. I know we did have, I think last time there were 2 state constitutional questions on the ballot, if I recall correctly. But this time, I'm not sure. That's a good question. You're welcome.
Thanks, Cindy.
Put it on. Fine.
Your floor, Paul.
Number one.
Let me just, I made some handouts here.
I'll hand them out. Yeah. And then if you maximize that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Cindy. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're fine.
Okay. I'm here today, not as a member of the commission, but as a private citizen, and I am simply advising you and myself as commissioners of an effort that has begun to advocate for the adoption of the bond to pay for a new senior center at the Grace Church on Main Street. This, again, is a private effort. We are not asking any action on the part of the committee or the administration. It is simply an informational thing for you to know that this is going on. That said, my understanding is that we as individual citizens can participate in that effort, but not in our official role as commissioners. So just bear that in mind. The working title of the group, which is being formed, is Trumbull Senior Community Committee. And this little presentation is just about how this might work. It's still in its formative stages. We have to get permission. We have to file all the forms and organize. But here's basically where we think it's going. This is an outline of what could happen, and a lot of that is dependent on how many people we get to help us and how much money we can raise. But this is if all goes well, this is how it would work. Initial organization has already begun. Papers are going to be filed with the town and, if necessary, with the state. Initial fundraising will begin probably in early September. A website has been set up. It's pretty much a straw man at the moment, but it does exist. Publicity is also beginning. We have a Facebook page that Mike Ganino is running. And the final step would be outreach to the community, and there are several steps in that. But these are the big pieces of the campaign. The initial steps from August 22nd to September 8th, we have to set up the campaign committee, define its mission and goals, and identify campaign coordinators, and I'll talk about what coordinators do in a moment. Here are the roles, a campaign chair and vice chair. There are a couple of candidates for that. They haven't yet agreed to it, but I think we'll get somebody. We need a treasurer. We need a graphics and printed materials coordinator because we want to do at least some yard signs and possibly some mailings and or door hangers to go door to door. A yard sign coordinator, that's a person who works with people to get signs in their yard that say vote yes on question, whatever it is. A canvassing coordinator, if we can get that done, canvassing door to door. That's labor intensive. It requires a fair number of people, but we would need somebody to coordinate that. A house party coordinator. House parties are a great way to spread the word. People have invite a few of their neighbors in. Somebody from this committee will go and have a presentation like this, explaining why it's important and what we hope to achieve by it. And those are just, they're great. It's informal, inexpensive, and it's a great way to have one-on-one interaction with people and to deal with questions as they arise. A letters coordinator, the committee would like to do letters to the editor and letters to community leaders. But letters to the editor is a great way to do it, and you can hit that more than once. It's not like we do one letter to the Connecticut Post and call it a day. We could do several over the course of the campaign. The social media coordinator, somebody who's going to run Facebook and or Instagram and TikTok and whatever's next. A website coordinator, again, we have a website, and I'll show you that in a minute. Mostly it's just an outline at the moment. And finally, if and when we can get get enough horses, a phone bank coordinator, so we could do phone banks toward the end of it. That is a very in-depth campaign. I'm not sure how much of this that the committee will be able to accomplish. Again, it's going to depend a lot on how many people are interested in volunteering. We have a core right now of about 14 people who have said they would be interested. We hope to enlarge that. So social media and website, Facebook is live now, and Mike Ganino is running that. The website, which is called TrumbullSeniorCommunity.com. I think this will, whoops. Let's see if I click on it, if it comes up. Oops. I'll try to come back to that. Oop, wrong icon. Where are you? There you are. Okay. And social media, paid advertising, again, paid advertising on Facebook is pretty cheap, but it's not free. So again, a lot of this is going to depend on how much money we can raise and how many people are willing to kick in. Fundraising begins early in September. We'll be able to donate through the website, house party solicitations, and conceivably phone solicitations or one-on-one to your friends. You know, you can talk it up. I haven't yet prepared a budget, but if we get into things like mailings and printing, the costs mount fairly quickly. We don't have to report anything if we spend less than $1,000. But if you get into mailings and yard signs, it can easily go over $1,000, which is why fundraising will be an important part of this. Mailings, we hope to have 2 in October, one about the middle and one just before the election. The letter writing campaign, we talked about letters to the editor. We can also do letters and postcards to your friends. You know, you go through your address book and you sign it yourself. And the committee would provide the card itself, and you would just put a little note on it that says, hope you vote November 4th or whatever. Outreach. There's a number of things going here. Public forums. I'd like to have a couple. We're already talking about one at the library. I think we could conceivably do one at the senior center, though you're going to let me know about that, Michelle, if we can do it. We can do things like going to the Rotary Club or going to PTOs. You know, whenever they're having a meeting, the group can send a representative to speak to them and advocate for the senior center. Canvassing I mentioned, that would start about mid-October. Again, depends on how many people we have. Phone banks, same deal. And standouts. Standouts are when people stand on the corner and hold signs and wave at cars driving by. Those are very effective, especially as you're getting close to the election. And on election day, to have people standing outside the polling places. Again, that's another way of raising awareness, which is really what we need to do. We don't want people walking into the polls on election day and saying, what the hell is question 1? So we want to make sure people understand. Right now, the opponents have got such yard signs as there are out. So the goal is to dwarf their effort. And then finally, the requirements for the successful campaign, money and people. Those are the 2 things we need. So if you have friends who are interested, who believe in this, talk it up to them. There will be a way on the website to sign up to volunteer and to contribute. So those are the important things. doesn't require hundreds of people, but it might require 100, let's say. Not to work every day on it, but to do something. So maybe you're interested in canvassing, or maybe you would like to have a house party, or maybe you're interested in phone banking. That, 100 people all told could really raise the profile of this campaign. So that's the outline of the effort. And again, I want to stress this is a private effort. This is not something I'm asking the commission or myself as a commissioner to participate in, but it's for private citizens who believe in this concept, who believe that the senior center is something to have that Trumbull needs, for not just for seniors, but as we were just talking about, for all our citizens. And I believe that's it. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah. Let me just show you the website while if I can fetch it up here. Oh, here it is. So this is the home page, and it's a pretty simple home page at the moment. There's some links down here, always, who's on the team at the moment. You'll see they all look pretty much like me. But we'll fix that. And there's a page about the history of the project. There'll be a page of why it's needed and what services it offers, which is really, I think, an important point. All of this will be in the website. This is currently under development. And as I say, there will be a donate page as well, so if people do want to contribute or volunteer, those things will be there. At the moment, those things don't exist, but the website the domain is copied, and it's live and it's TrumbullSeniorCommunity.com. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm walking away from the microphone. Any questions?
People are donating money and they're writing a check.
People are donating money and writing a check. What is the check made out to?
It will be made out to the Trumbull Senior Community Committee. That entity does not exist yet. That's why
I know.
we don't have a donate button yet. But
I personally want to thank you for all the hard work you put into this. This is a lot of work. And can you let me know as a citizen when this website will be available for people to go on and participate?
yeah, there's a few pieces I need. I'll be talking to you, Michelle, about some of the history and some of the service stuff that we want to put in there. And FAQ, I think you already have an FAQ about it at some point. I think I saw one somewhere. But just, get that stuff together. And again, this is, one more time, this is informational. I certainly encourage all of you to participate as you feel comfortable, but not as commissioners. This commission has got to play it right down the middle. So thank you. Oh, Ron.
Okay, no, I just want to say thank you if we're finished.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was nice, but we don't want to belabor that because that's strictly informational to our consuming senior citizen population out there, among others. Okay, so next on the agenda, we have, let's see, I had updated the letter writing campaign. I guess that was bundled into that presentation. I had an update with the mailer of information pertinent to senior citizen services in Trumbull. With Mr. Ryan was going to do that, but I think that's going to get rolled into this also as an informative thing.
What's that?
The mailer with information we were talking about, the one little short one sheet possibly inserted in the tax bill or something
That's
afterwards. Yeah. But that's okay. But and the last thing is basically any concerns or concerns of senior citizens, and I think what we've spoken about before encapsulates all of their concerns and concerns. Okay, relative to new business. I did speak earlier about the change in location of the Commission on Aging on the website. The reason being is that right now we are on the sidebar, the left-hand side of the page of the Senior Center webpage. And I just thought if there was a way of moving that to get us to our own webpage or a smaller commission in general webpage, and to make the distinction that we are, a lot of people think we are still the Senior Center Commission, which we were in the past. That is no longer the case. We now operate with the Senior Center Senior Center at basically an arm's length as an advisory board and do any help we can in furthering their cause. But as far as any direct involvement with anything, the scheduling of activities, just various things, we really have no involvement in it unless you want to volunteer. You can,
Right.
different thing. Okay, I'm sorry, Cindy?
My only thing, I know you brought it up earlier, and in thinking about it, so it's, what's there is really a link. That
Right.
you have a page on the website like all the other boards and commissions. I think I like having it there because it's another way for people to find you. So if they're on the senior center page, I understand your point about there maybe being some confusion that they think maybe you are involved in running the senior center, but I like the fact that it's there because it's another way for people to find you and to know that you exist.
My suggestion would be then leave that link there also.
I think it's only a link.
Yeah,
that's
that's all it
there,
is. Yeah, it's a
right?
link.
So maybe leave it there.
We can talk
But
about it.
I understand.
It's not a priority.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
and you're correct that the former senior commission really was involved in the day-to-day running of the senior center and spending funds to run the senior center, and that's no longer the case. So you're 100% right about that. But I just think as a means of for people to know you exist and to find the link, maybe it's a good place to have it still.
In all honesty, I've never heard any complaints about finding any information.
Yeah,
So it's not really,
we can talk.
yeah. I don't want to say it's not an issue. I don't want to forget about it.
Yeah.
But at least it's out there for conversation in the future.
Right.
Good. I appreciate that.
Got it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I might, I think the more points of entry, the better. I mean, coming in from the town page, we've got a link from there. Coming in, the senior center
Yeah.
page itself is a natural place for people to go and to have it right there so they can jump in. I think it's, the more ways to get to the information that we have is the better.
Yes. Okay, good. All right, thanks, Cindy. Where are we now? You're down the publicity options, newspapers, et cetera. I think that kind of got covered in the presentation that Citizen Paul made. Discussions of Parks and Recreation notification. I forgot who it was, but someone at the senior center had asked me, how come we never get any notifications like from the town about certain things? Was there ever with Towns and Recreation, did they ever put together a little summertime folder of activities? Or am I thinking of the activities that were being done at the high school in the evenings? Because I know I went to a golf class and some financial class and some elder class at the high school.
Hi.
Hello again.
So I know, there is the continuing education and summer continuing education programs, and I know I got a little booklet in the mail myself about
But
that.
not Parks and Rec.
No, that's
Okay,
through
great.
that's through the Trumbull Public Schools.
Right.
Parks and Rec, I know that they have an online brochure. I don't know if they print. I don't know if they print their their seasonal activities. But that is a good question. I can try to find out for you.
I didn't mean to cause any problem, but like I said,
No.
it was brought to me at the senior center.
Yeah.
Someone said, hey, how come the other towns get a mailing of what's available through Parks and Recs and we get nothing? And I said, well, I didn't realize there was even, well, I guess it stands to reason that there'd be some kind of an agenda on their site. I didn't even think to mention that, but that's why I brought that up. Okay.
So I know you can look on their website and they have all of their programming information there, but I'll find out if they do a mailer or anything like that.
I'll also send that, maybe make an email to Dimitri and Noreen, just
Yeah.
saying, hey,
Yep.
had some interest
That's
in
a
it.
good idea, too.
Any good thoughts?
Yep.
Okay, good. We're going down our list quick here, folks. Discussion of Parks and Rec, that's out. What do we have out here about SWACA? Oh, we did that. That was covered already. Do we have any left open items of discussion from today or from any other days that need addressing? I know the silence is deafening, but it's appreciated at this point.
Should we go over as a committee what we are allowed and not allowed to do as far as I know we certainly can't take a stand, but as far as proper things to do as a commission?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think
we go.
the statute says that town funds cannot be used to advocate one way or the other for a referendum question. And we, what constitutes using town funds? Is it, keeping the lights on in this room while you have your meeting? I don't know. It's a slippery slope. So we don't even want to risk any questions or any challenges. So, the town attorney's advice is really no advocacy, no sending out newsletters, no mailers, from the commission. It's pretty strict, I think.
Thank you. So, aside of caution, we do.
Yes.
Can we explain if they're individuals and they're I can come
Yes.
to the question.
Yes.
And just as individuals, because I hear you guys saying, as a private citizen, as an individual,
Yes.
what can they do? And if there's so many of them in a room together,
Right.
what happens?
Right.
Yeah.
So if there's a majority of the commission, it's considered a quorum, and so you're really not supposed to discuss commission business, and you really should not, let's say you end up at one of these house parties, and you say, we're members of the Commission on Aging, and the Commission on Aging wants you to vote. You can't do that. But, if you're like, if I'm walking my dog, and my neighbor says to me, hey, what's up with that referendum question? What do you think? I can tell her what I think. You can tell your neighbors what you think. You're a citizen. You can have an opinion. You can voice that opinion. But you can't be at a commission meeting or with a quorum of your commission advocating as a commission.
So that being said,
Yes.
on the private committee that's being formed, there should not be more than 5 of us.
No. There could be hundreds of them.
Well, clarify,
Nothing to do with the
my understanding is, let's say we all went to somebody's house party, and there were 5 of us there, or 6 of us, whatever quorum is.
Don't talk business.
As long as we didn't say that we, as officials, we endorse this, but as private citizens, I mean, that's not a meeting of the commission. We're not transacting commission business. My understanding is that would be okay.
Yeah, I can check with the town attorney, but I think, I would just want to make sure what the nuances are there.
Yeah, yes, please check with the
Yeah.
attorney, because we don't want to step on any landmines here.
Right.
Are you
But-
saying you have a concern that if we are in a room of 50 people and 5 of us happen to be there, that we can't express an opinion and not being?
Yeah,
part of the commission?
if you're at an event that's not, it's not a commission event,
Right.
and I think you're okay.
We have a house party, we have 20 people, 5 of us happen to be there. We certainly should be able to express our opinion as individuals, not representing the Commission on Aging.
Right. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my understanding of open meeting, and I'm not as familiar with Connecticut, but you cannot discuss commission business. If there are
Correct.
5 of you present, you cannot
Correct.
discuss commission, because you've now turned it into a public meeting.
Correct.
But since we are not allowed to
Correct.
take a position on it, it can't be commission business.
Right.
Get it?
It
Right.
shouldn't be hard to do. I have a question. Relative to some of these situations, is it the ethical thing to do is say, I'm a member of the Commission on Aging? Now, with that aside, I'm speaking to you as a citizen, and then progress on. Is it good or bad to, I guess it's good or bad to identify yourself? It could work for you or against you.
I think it's a
But
good
is it the
idea.
ethical thing to do?
I think it's a good idea.
All right, so that's the key then, I think.
Yeah, I think your language is appropriate, Ron. It would be, I'm a member of the commission, but I am speaking to you as a private citizen. So you're not hiding anything, but you're also
Right.
making clear that you're not, this is not you as commissioner speaking.
Yeah, because I think the one thing that wants to come out from us as a commission and those people as another group of people is truth and fact. That's it. And with that, I don't think I have anything else for you, Cindy.
How do
Oops, sorry.
organizations like the police department support the mayor of New York come out and on the side of a specific candidate, that they are the police department, which should not be Republican or Democrat? So how do they get
Is
away
it
with
the
that?
union, though, that does it?
Yeah, I
I'm
think it's the
not
union.
sure.
I think a lot of the time it's the union that votes to support a candidate or not.
But it's the police union,
Right.
which should not be political.
I'm not a specialist on unions or what the rules are, but it's, the union itself is not a government organization. I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean, I was spending a lot of time on election law the last few days, and unions are recognized as a player in elections. They can endorse and contribute and be active. But I think Cindy's right. When there's an endorsement for, like, the mayor of New York, it's the police union, not the police department that's doing the endorsement.
Oh, I thought I had two other questions, which I do, but it's not for you. I think it's for the group.
Okay,
So as far as I'm concerned, Cindy,
I
thank you.
can sit down.
Yeah, until the next time.
Yes.
I guess the remaining two topics that I have to address are regarding Officer, I always screw his name up, Pies, I think. Any kind of topics that we want to cover for him to address, to give him a heads up, with the possibility of getting started late September or our October meeting. Just keep that as a thought, okay? Some ideas. And the last thing is, did we ever resolve the dates and the times of the meetings? Or is that still an open issue?
It's been Fridays until we come up with something else.
Are we all okay with what we have now? It's, what is it, the third Friday of the month at 2 o'clock?
Yeah, we
That-
never could come up with another date that everyone agreed with.
Because apparently what we have now hasn't presented any real hardships that resulted in the cancellation of any meetings. So,
I think it was more about for the convenience of the staff, really, because Friday afternoons,
those senior center people.
well, and Cindy too. I mean, if we could come up with something that was more in their business day.
Yeah, ideally, yeah, if we could, we would, but
So
and
far,
Michelle,
haven't been able
we do
to agree.
appreciate your extending yourself to come on these off times. Okay. I've exhausted my list, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody have anything else they want to contribute or discuss? I see no activity in the group. At that point, would anyone care to bring our meeting to an end and make a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Kathleen. Do we have a second? Linda, thank you. Have a nice day, folks. Thank you very much. I think today was a good day.